All right. If I could have your attention. Byron, can you turn that up just a little bit? You turn that up just a little bit? Good morning, everybody. Whoa, 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 whoa. You guys, I know we got our pink sheets in front of us, our course registration, but come on now. Good morning. Let's try that again. Soft skills. Good morning. One last time. Good morning. Excellent, excellent. So what I need you to do right now is take your backpack, put it on the ground in front of you, please. Do that for me now. We should not have any hats and hoods, AirPods, any of that kind of stuff. I see everything looks good. Finally, please make sure that we have our cell phones on silent. Put them away, okay? And I need you to pay attention. And then finally, the small of your back right here, let's put that in the back of your chair so you're sitting up. Please sit up for me. Because if you're slouching, you're not going to listen, you're going to fall asleep, and we're going over important information, okay? So and then here's my final thing right here. This is a little self-check regulation right here. I refuse to get upset with somebody because you're not being respectful, you're not listening, just because you're immature, and you're not regulating yourself because you're sitting next to your buddy. And because you're sitting next to your buddy, you guys are poking each other. Hey, this is funny. This is stupid. I don't know, whatever it might be. So if you're next to someone, so look to your left and your right. If you're next to someone that's going to cause you to get removed from the auditorium, then just raise your hand right now, and I'll get you moved now, so you don't have a situation where you're going to get removed. I'll have to have a parent meeting, and then we'll talk about your pathway for success somewhere else, okay? Does anybody need to be moved? Okay, so that should be pretty easy then. So, real quick, just get a little interaction out of you right here. If you are right-handed, raise your right hand for me. Raise your right hand. Right hand. There you go. I knew I had a couple there. Now put your hand down. If you're left-handed, put your left hand up. Got a few lefties here. All right, put your hand down. If you live in Fort Myers, the city of Fort Myers, raise your hand. Okay, put your hand down. If you live in Estero, San Carlos Park, or Bonita, raise your hand. Okay, we got a diverse group here, and I know, put your hand down. So in the end, it doesn't matter, right-handed, left-handed, Fort Myers, Bonita, Estero, San Carlos, doesn't matter where you're from. You're in the auditorium right now. You're going to listen to me. You're going to listen to Miss Locke as she goes over registration. And you're going to listen to Mr. Steele as we talk about end-of-the-year expectations. Why are we going over this? Number one, we got to have you set up for success going in next year. And number two, I got to make sure that you guys do everything in your power to finish strong all the way from now to the end of the school year. And some of you, I'm going to have you come back during the summertime so that you can go to summer school so that you can graduate on time. That's the reality. So don't get mad at me and don't get mad at anybody else. If you want to get mad, you can get mad at yourself, but getting mad is not really going to do anything. You just got to start doing the work right now. So everything we're talking about is just matter of fact. I can't tell you a funny story. I can't tell you a sad story. I'm not going to tell you a story. This is what it is. Either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. And if you don't want to do it, then after this meeting, come see me, see any of the administrators, any of the guidance counselors, and let's set you up and where you need to go to be successful. Because if you're in this room, that means that you're going to be successful at South Fort Myers High School. If you don't feel that you're going to be successful, and being successful, that definition is graduating and then leaving with a pathway for success. If you feel that that's not going to happen, then we have to get you into a program where that is going to happen. But I'm not going to have you in here just goofing around, saying everything's terrible, everything's bad, and pulling the other students down. I got to have you in here building people up. I'm not going to have you in here tearing people down. So please listen up, pay attention. Now, you don't need to raise your hand. I don't want anybody to feel embarrassed or anything like that. If you are currently in a reading class and you're sick and tired of being in reading classes, okay, I have one solution for you. Pass the test. Okay? pass the test. It all comes down to just do it. If you do not want to be in reading your senior year, then when we do retakes, pass the test. Ms. Locke, if I'm not mistaken, juniors are also allowed to take the ACT, the SAT. We have all kinds of opportunities for concordance scores. Now, I apologize if I'm being blunt about it, but what I see as the principal here recently is I see a lot of teachers, guidance counselors, coaches, everybody doing a lot of work. And I see some of the students who are doing a lot of the work, and they're passing the tests. And the students who aren't doing the work or not even showing up for the test are the ones that are complaining because they're still in reading classes. Now, just logically, I want you to think about it a second. Miss Locke is not taking the reading test. She already knows how to read at the high school equivalent level, okay? I don't need Miss Locke to take the test, but yet I know that she's working extremely hard to make sure that those who need to take the test pass the test. And I know that if you're struggling with it, it's okay. We're just going to keep taking it until you pass it. But my talk right here is for the ones who are just blowing it off and saying it doesn't matter, because it does matter. And I want you to pass it sooner rather than later, because I know you can do it. There's no reason why you're not passing the test if we know that you can pass the test. Just pass it. Get it over with. If you are interested in doing dual enrollment next year, you want to go to FMTC, you want to go to Cape Coral Tech, FSW, or FGCU. I think FGCU is a little bit out of the hand if they haven't already done so. Please, when we're talking to registration, get yourself signed up for those classes. Find out what you got to do in order to get signed up for those classes. Make it happen. There should not be any excuses. For all of my juniors, when I look at this right here, you can, when I was watching you come down the hallway, I said this directly to a couple people. I said, you know, as I'm looking, I think it was Mr. Whitlock. He said, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm doing pretty good. You know, as I'm sitting here, I'm watching you guys, and I'm thinking of you guys as seniors next year, and then not only as seniors coming in, but what you're going to look like when you graduate. So even though you're juniors right now, and some of us still might be thinking closer to what we look like as freshmen, you're closer to a senior than you are as a freshman, okay? So make sure that we're focused moving forward instead of looking backwards. I need you looking forward, okay? So make sure that we're providing everything that you need. If you need help, I am here to help you. Ms. Locke's here to help you. Every person in this room is here to help you. You may not like our personalities at times, but we're here to help you. So whatever you need and we can do to help you, we are here to help you. So please take advantage of it. Finish strong, nothing silly. I want to make sure that every student in this room is here at the end of the year, and more importantly, at the end of next year. I don't want to say anything negative, but when you were a freshman, if you were a freshman here at the beginning of 2 years ago, were there more students in the auditorium? Yes, okay. It was quite a bit more back there. You guys have worked hard. You've done everything that you're supposed to so far. Now, some of you, there's little things here and there. Maybe I don't like math. Maybe I don't like reading. Maybe whatever the subject is. Get over that hump. Get to the next level. You can be successful at anything you want to do. You're never going to hear from me and say that everybody in this room has only one pathway to be successful. I'm not going to say that you have to go to college to be successful. I'm not going to say that you have to go to tech school to be successful. I'm not going to say you have to go to the military to be successful. But if you want to go to college, you want to go to trade school, you want to go in the military, you want to start your own business, you want to go work for somebody else, then let's do it and do it right. You have so many opportunities, it's unbelievable. Now, I'm going to tell you something that you guys have here that nobody else has in a lot of other schools, is we're telling you, quite honestly, what's like out there. If you're willing to work, you're willing to show up every day, and you're willing to do a good job, you're going to be successful. We can't baby you, and I'm going to tell you this right now, if you go to the job site expecting to get paid and somebody to hold your hand, it's not going to happen. Okay? So take the initiative, listen to what Ms. Locke has to say. Please ask good questions. I don't want to hear Don't take offense to this, but I'm just going to call it like it is. I don't want to hear anything stupid, all right? I don't want to hear dumb questions where you're purposely trying to do a joke or something. I want you locked in. I want you focused to what she's talking about. Ask good questions, and then when Mr. Steele gets in, we'll do his speech, and then I'll get you out of here, okay? So without further ado, on the count of 3, can you give Miss Locke a round of applause? 1, 2, 3. Hey, they like you, Miss Locke.
Thank you, Mr. Matthews. And really quickly, just in case Mr. Steele is late coming in, if you have not bought a yearbook yet, how much are they? I don't hear one right answer. They are $85, and you can purchase them in the cafeteria. And also, what is this Saturday? Prom. If you want to go to prom, please make sure you buy tickets. So, first of all, everyone should have a pink paper in their hand. If you do not have a pink paper in your hand, that means either you were not at first period, or maybe your teacher forgot, or you've already lost it in the 2 hours since you've received it. But tomorrow in your English class, you will be going over this pink paper with your counselors. Now, I want everyone to look at the side that is landscape. At the very top, it says academic history. That is your academic history. And the upper left-hand side should be your name. If it is not your name in the upper left-hand side, you have the wrong paper. I know that most teachers probably looked at it and realized that they needed to pass them out individually. Some teachers may not have realized it and just given you somebody else's. So if on the upper left-hand side is not your name and your lunch number, please raise the paper in your hand, and Ms. Vasquez and Ms. Jeffcott and Mr. Sims, somebody will come get it for you if you do not have your paper in your hand. We're good? Oh, I should say if you have the wrong one. If you have the wrong one, raise the wrong one up. We're good? Okay, great. We're going to run. So this is an academic history. And I'm going to explain to you some of the pieces of it because as juniors, you may or may not have seen this before or it's been a long time. In the upper left-hand side is an overall summary. It's called the credit summary of all of the courses that you need, the credits you need to graduate. The middle is your in progress. That's what you are currently taking right now. Those are the classes you are currently taking. You are probably currently taking ACE General Paper, U.S. History, and so on. On the right-hand side are your scores for all of your different tests that you should have taken up to this point. There should be a score for almost all of them except maybe U.S. History. And then scores for your non-EOC tests are underneath that. If you've taken the ACT, SAT, and so on, those scores are there as well. So underneath all of that is a breakdown of all of the classes you have taken and your grades for them. So you should have A's, B's, or C's, maybe some D's, for English 1, English 2, and so on and so forth. That is a record of your academic history. So everyone's paper is going to look different. And if you have any questions about what you see, you don't recognize a class, or you're like, wait a minute, in 8th grade, I know I took Spanish 1 at 6 Mile Charter, and I don't see it there. Or whatever you see that should be there, make sure you make a note of that and let your counselors know so we can look into it. So it's broken down by section: language arts, math, science, social studies, hope, fine arts, and then electives, okay? So how many credits do we need to graduate? 24, good job. We need 24 credits to graduate. And it just can't be 24 whatever you want. You can't take basketball and hope and gymnastics and soccer and just graduate. There's a breakdown of what you have to take. You have to take a certain amount of language arts, math, science, social studies, and so forth. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Roback. And we can skip that. It's just another example. So now look at your pink paper. We're going to walk through this section by section so that you are aware of how to fill this out. Because for the most part, you're going to fill this out on your own. Starting tomorrow in your English class, you're going to review it with with a counselor and turn it in. So when is this getting turned in? Tomorrow. So do you need to bring it to school tomorrow? Yes, you do. So at the very top, and you don't have to do this right now, but obviously you're going to fill the top part: your name, student ID, your phone number. Now, if you have a cell phone, this would be where you'd put your cell phone number. If you don't, that's fine. You can put your home number or your parents'. The reason we want your cell phone number is because when I'm doing master scheduling over the summer, you're not here. And so if there's a conflict, you wanted 2 classes and they're only being offered at the exact same time, I need to be able to reach out to you and say, hey, you wanted both ACE English Language and ACE Spanish. You can only pick one. Which one do you really want? Okay, so put your phone number there. And then if you are a student athlete, meaning you play on one of our teams, not just you go to PE, but you are actually a player on a team, please go ahead and check that as well. So core academic classes, which are your English, math, science, socials, and reading, are mostly determined by your academic history and your scores and teacher recommendation. Also, it is a district expectation that students earn a college and career acceleration point prior to graduation. So that's an academy certification, that is passing an ACE class, a dual enrollment class, an AP test, and so on. And also, if you do not, that last sentence says, students who do not turn in this course selection form forfeit the opportunity to choose your own electives. So on August 12th, your first day of your senior year, when you come to me and say, I don't like any of my classes, and I go and check my filing cabinet, and I don't see one of these from you, that means you didn't turn it in, and I got to pick. And so I put you in whatever I felt like and where we had openings. So if you want to have a hand in your education for next year, make sure this gets turned in on time. Next slide, please. So English, where do you think you guys are going to live? Very good. English 4. So your options are English 4, English Honors 4, or ACE English Language. If you are wanting to pursue just a slightly higher English class, that's your option. In math. Now, obviously there are some grade level ranges on the left-hand side, and this is where you're going to use a little bit of your deductive skills and look back over on your academic history. And if you've already passed geometry, do you think you're going to pick geometry? No. If you're currently in Algebra 2, do you think you're going to pick Algebra 2? No. Okay? You're going to pick a class that you haven't already taken that you need. And so you have to have 4 math credits. So you guys will live down on that Math for Dad and Financial Literacy or honors, or if you want to challenge yourself and take pre-calc honors or Prob and Stats honors, you can as well. Okay? So you are picking for the most part. Keep in mind, if you have not passed the Algebra 1 EOC by the end of your junior year, you will have 2 math classes. Okay? And so that'll be something I will manually change myself. Science, your science options. So next year you guys are 12th graders, so are you going to pick physical science? No, because who is physical science for? Sophomores, 10th graders, okay? You guys are 12th graders next year. Are you going to pick earth space? No, because most of you are probably in it this year, and you will not be juniors next year. So there are some options for you for a science credit. Go ahead and move on. Okay, so biology is at the bottom. You should have already taken biology by now. However, there are some of you that may have transferred to us in the middle of the year. And if you look over at your academic history and you do not see biology listed, you would need to take that and something else. So that's why that CR, that stands for credit recovery. You're not just picking biology, because most of you have probably already taken biology. Okay? But if you don't see biology on your academic history, you do need to choose that one as well. Okay? Social studies. The majority of you are probably in U.S. history right now, or U.S. history honors, correct? Okay, next year you will be in econ and U.S. government, or you can go the honors route and choose econ honors and U.S. government honors. So you will check one of those. And then electives for the fun part. So you are going to select 5 elective choices. You're going to rank those in preference of 1 to 5. 1 means you really, 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 really want that class. And 5 means it's your least favorite elective, but you still like it, because you couldn't get any of these 5. So if you if you absolutely do not like dressing out, you do not like PE, don't pick any PE classes. So don't pick them, because you are going to get something that you rank from 1 to 5. Can I guarantee you're getting your first choice? No. But I will very, very much do my best to make sure you're getting a 1 of your 1 to 5. If it has an S next to it, that means it's a semester class. It's not a full year. And you can't say, oh, I want to take Hospitality 3 if you've never taken Hospitality 1 and 2. So keep that in mind, okay? Go ahead and move on. So leadership, you're my junior, so I can skip that part. But if you're an AVID 3, you could go to AVID 4. If you're ROTC 3 and you're wanting to continue on and so forth, you choose 4. If you're in the leadership ROTC class, you would select that as well. Latinos in Action, if you're wanting to continue on with that. And then if you're in student government with Mrs. Schultz, that's what that is as well. Visual and performing arts. So on your academic history, there's a section called fine arts. And if it still shows under the needed column 1 whole credit or even a half a credit, that means you have not yet earned your arts credit. Especially if it says you need 1 whole credit, because if you're not singing in an art class right now and it still shows that you need 1 whole fine arts credit, you have to pick something from here. For the most part, okay? So just keep that in mind, okay? We have ceramics and all of that. You can go down the list. It's pretty self-explanatory for the most part. I try to put little, like if you're in color guard and you're continuing on, you need to choose it. You cannot assume that just because you're in something this year, you'll have it next year. Go ahead. World language electives. Again, if you want to continue on as seniors, if you're wanting to get your 2 years of foreign language before, by graduation, you need to finish the 2nd year, unless you are in Spanish 3 honors. These are your PE electives: HOPE, basketball, soccer, team sports, volleyball, weight training, care and prevention of athletes, self-defense, and wrestling. If you are on one of our Wolfpack teams, and specifically if you're in the classes this year and or want to continue next year, the JV or varsity baseball team, basketball teams, football team, or soccer team, that's where you would notate that as well. Now, just because you choose that doesn't mean you're going to get it, because the coaches of those teams give me the list and say these are the students that should be in this class next year if it works in their schedule. So if you're not on the football team and you choose that, I'm not saying you're going to get that. Academy electives. Now, obviously, we are a school that is very focused on being college and career ready, and this is where you would choose your academy electives. Most of you by now should have already been in an academy, and you would be choosing level 3 or 4 of a class. It's very rare we have seniors in level 1 of a class, but that doesn't mean we can't. If you need to fill up your schedule and you're like, you know what, I need to fill up classes, I don't want a PE class, I would rather do TV production 1 because I really like what I see on the news, that is totally fine, okay? Just keep in mind, in a lot of the academy classes, you're not going to get a cert in a level 1 class. But if you are already in an academy, continue on in that. But obviously you're going to circle which level you need to be, or which levels you need to be in. And I must have, so we do have one new academy class next year, medical skills. That's phlebotomy. I forgot to write that word there. I apologize. That is drawing of blood. So if you're interested in learning how to draw blood, that is drawing of blood. I think everything else is pretty self-explanatory, I hope. Go ahead and move on. And then these are just general electives. They're not the PE ones. They're not the academy ones. We have debate. If you're in debate 1 this year, we are going to offer debate 2, and you can continue on with that class if you'd like. Journalism, which is yearbook, African American history. Again, what does that S mean? Semester-long class. Great job. Law studies, psychology 1 and 2, sociology. And then we have tools for success. This is a dual enrollment class, so it goes on your college transcript. It earns you that CCA I talked about at the beginning of the year. It's a 12th grade only class, and you have to have a high enough GPA to qualify. Driver's ed, if by chance you're interested in that, you're all at least 15. You're welcome to have that, but you have to have your permit. If you would like to be a student aide, you have to have a 3.0 unweighted GPA. If you want to be a PAC PAL, that is our student aides that go into our life skills and social functioning classes. Again, 3.0 GPA. OJT, I'm going to come back to that in a second. And then off-campus. Off-campus is senior option. It's for seniors only. And so you get 1 period of that if you qualify. Now, qualifying means you have met all of your graduation requirements except for the classes you're currently sitting in. So except for English 4, your math, your econ, and government. That means if you haven't passed your ELA test, if you haven't passed your Algebra 1 EOC, or if you are in E2020 for any credit recovery classes, you will not be eligible for senior option. So if you want to be eligible for senior option, you know you've passed all of your tests, but you are making up credits, then you need to come to summer school over the summer and get those credits done, because nobody will have senior option if they are missing graduation requirements. Then back up to OJT, you have to have a job with a paycheck. You can't work for your mom or dad and they pay you under the table. You can't babysit and that be your job. You have to have a job where you actually get not a physical paycheck, but you get a pay stub. And you have to work at least 4 hours a week, which I'm sure if you have a paycheck, You probably do that. Keep in mind that if you do not turn in your paperwork on time, you are removed from the class, and starting next year, you will not be added back to the class. At the end of the quarter, you're missing your paperwork, you're out, and then you get 3 more classes to go into instead of OJT. So if you're wanting OJT, there's paperwork required. And then lastly, our ACE and AP electives. If you are an ACE student, you need to be looking at these, but anyone is welcome to take them. If you are just interested in having a GPA boost and there's something that you're really interested in, such as the ACE PE class, or if we offer some of the AP classes at the bottom, they're open to anybody. Last part of the form, if you want to take 1 or more classes via Florida Virtual School over the summer, list them here. So for example, if you would like to have more flexibility in your senior schedule and you want to take econ and U.S. government over the summer, you would put that there and discuss that with your counselor tomorrow. Okay, the more you get done over the summer, the less you have to do as a senior. If you know that you're missing credits, they go here, and you can know that by looking at your academic history. And then lastly, if you are already signed up for dual enrollment, you would list that here, what classes you're planning to take or you're registered for, or if you want to sign up as well, you could talk with your counselor when you meet. And then the last part says, I selected the indicated courses for the 2024-2025 school year. After discussing these choices with my parents and counselor, I am committed to keeping these courses for the entire school year and understand that I will not be able to make changes to my schedule after the school year begins. And then you sign it, and you have your parents sign it. Now tomorrow, like that means tonight, they need to sign it. If by chance they don't sign it, you're still turning it in tomorrow with your signature. So you will sign this and you'll turn it into your counselor tomorrow. Okay? So really quickly, look at the side again, the portrait side. You're going to fill out the top. There's 4 things for you to fill out. You're going to check 1 box in math and English, math, science, social studies. Keep in mind, if you are in reading right now, once all of the scores have finalized from the summer, and if you have not passed, I will place you into reading, so that's why you don't notate that. And then starting with the electives, how many electives are you going to pick? 5. You can pick 2, and then I get to pick for you how many you want. But you're going to pick 5, and you're going to order them. 1 is the one you want the most, 5 is the one you want the least, but you could get any of those 5. If you only pick 2, then I get to pick the other 3, and you could possibly get the other 3. So don't just pick 2, okay? Pick 5, okay? Any questions, really great intuitive questions before I pass this off to Mr. Steele? I'm extremely impressed with your level of decorum today. I really appreciate it. Do not lose these. Please make sure you discuss them with your parents tonight and be ready for English class tomorrow. Coach Steele?
Outstanding. Hey guys, good morning. I'm sorry I missed the first part of the meeting. How you doing there, Mr. Air? Everything good? Good. Glad to hear it. Hey, just a couple things. I'm going to be short and sweet here, but you guys have listened to me talk now for a couple of years, so this is the part where we start talking about getting real here for a second. If you sat and listened to this whole thing, it should be very clear to you at this point in time that you have to take responsibility for your results. You have to take responsibility for your results. So what does that look like? What that looks like is that you finish the year strong. Because if you have senioritis as a junior, you're going to find yourself between a rock and a hard place. You're going to be behind next year, and you're going to be behind all year. Those of you that had to sit in my office know that I just cut straight to the chase all the time. I'm not going to blow smoke. I'm not going to make you feel good about yourself 24/7. I will help you every way that I can. But the reality here, ladies and gentlemen, is that you guys got to do this. You have to do this. So please, 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 make sure that you step up and do your part. Okay? I know that we talk about this every day. That means the cell phones, the backpacks, all of those things have to be consistent every single day. You know, I get up at 4:10 every morning and I got 4 dogs I got to walk every day. It doesn't matter if it's Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, or Sunday. 4:10 every day, because that's part of my responsibility. That's part of my role. So what's your role? Quite frankly, your role is to come to school, get good grades, and do the things that you're supposed to do. Please, I cannot emphasize this enough. Please, 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 with the new rule about the OJT and being able to leave campus early, you're not going to be able to do any of that if you don't take care of your business now. Please, I implore you, I'm begging you, please listen and understand what I'm saying to you. You have to do this. If you say to yourself, you know what, I'm not prepared to make that decision right now, I'm just going to let life flow the way it flows, that decision will get made for you. And you don't like the results. Guys, you got to take responsibility for where you're going. You got to. Don't wait on your parents to make a decision. Don't wait on your friends to make that decision. You guys got to take care of your business right now. Please, I cannot implore you enough. Make sure we end this year strong. I love every one of you. I love every one of you. And I help you any way I can. But you guys got to do your part. All right, prom. Anybody say anything to you about prom? Prom's this Saturday, right? Okay, so if you're going to buy your tickets, make sure we do that. They're selling them in the cafeteria every day at lunch. If you have a card instead of cash, you could go see the bookkeeper. He will give you the receipt, and then you'll be paid for. Make sure that you get everything taken care of. So that was prom. What was the other thing I had talked about? Yearbook. Yearbooks are $85. Now, I know that's a huge shock. It's a huge shock, but we're still about $50 cheaper than a lot of the other schools in the district. Okay? Please, 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 if you want a yearbook, buy it. Don't wait till the last minute, because the prices aren't going to go down. Okay? So please get that stuff taken care of as soon as you possibly can. Guys, school starts at 7:05 every morning. 7:05 every morning, you're supposed to be in class, right? Come on, let's take care of business. All right, that's all I got. Mr. Matthews is on you, my friend. Thank you.
All right. So, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that we received an award from Sheriff Carmine, and we have the 2 best-looking SROs in the district. All right? They did a survey of all the SROs, and one of them is Deputy Mikesell right there. See that good-looking guy right there? Isn't he good-looking? And Deputy Antoine is just as good-looking. And why I wanted to point them out is, and I know we're having a little fun here, get you awake there a little bit. So if you ever have anything personal going on, or you see something, you hear something, you know, something that's weird, and you say, hey, I should talk to somebody that's police warranted, just ask for a pass from your teacher. And Deputy Mikesell's on the 2nd floor. He's all the way in the front. Deputy Antoine's on the 1st floor. He's right there at the end of the hallway, right behind the front counter, okay? If you want to talk to a guidance counselor, a teacher, or any admin, you can come tell us immediately. We take your safety very, very seriously, so make sure that that happens. So going back, if you currently are in reading, any reading classes, okay? If you're currently in any reading classes and you want to get out, pass the retake. Pass the ACT, pass the SAT. Same thing with math. If you are in any of the Cambridge program classes, take advantage of that. That is found money. You pass those classes, you get college credit. Take advantage of that. And finally, get your ticket to prom, get your yearbook, all right, and enjoy these last days of the year, okay? You have 8 weeks, less than 8 weeks of the school year left. Less than 8 weeks. Make the most of it. So when I dismiss you, if you need to talk to any of the guidance counselors or Miss Locke over here about anything academic you're concerned about or you have questions, you can stay and come up and see them and whatever we can do to help you out. For everybody else, you guys were awesome, well behaved. I look forward to seeing you at graduation. You know, with everybody else, I had them dismiss in areas. You guys are so good. Just go out the back, please. Have a great day, everyone. You're going to second period.
Please make sure you're going back to the class you came from. We are still in a testing block. Go back to the classroom that you were just in. So if you were displaced, you're going back to that displaced classroom. We are still testing. If you have any questions, you can come sit on these first couple of rows. Come on, guys, let's go. Start walking out, please, back to your